Hello everybody, it's the Ash Heriter. Welcome back to Crusader Kings 3. I'll be frank with you guys, I recorded this episode a little while ago, and the sound of my recording was off because I'd unplugged the microphone the day before, and that reset my OBS settings, and it was the one time that I didn't test it beforehand. So, I'm doing a post voiceover on this. So, if the audio and the text and what's going on here don't entirely make sense with what's happening on the screen, that's why. What I was just there attempting to do was describing the plan of what we were going to attempt to do this episode, which was lay the foundation to regain control of the Maghreb and Africa, the two emirates up here. So, yeah, right now, we are playing Amira Al-Umara Temzi, the daughter of the Amir Tanan, who has seized the throne in a rather precarious situation. There's quite a bit of potential threats awaiting us, as we have a, well, something of a situation on our hands. So, situation is, right now, they're attempting to install Prince Tanan, my half-brother, as the regent of the Grand Emirate. Thus, they are attempting to depose me, which currently there are 4 backers there, but at this point I hope that they attempt to make their ploy so that I can get rid of them. My brother, Prince Amayas, has lately been telling me how impressed he is with the generosity of Yuba. Okay. Who's Yuba? Not our counselor, or our chancellor, I should say. I don't know who this is, but okay, that's great. That's all well and good. And, let's see here. Checking a situation in our court. Ah, why would you not honor that coxcomb Ismail with position at court? Not me. My courtier Himi is livid. So basically what I did shortly before starting the recording was I, booted him as my personal champion and put Ismail as my personal champion instead, because Himi's skills have degraded over time, so I'm going to tell him to get over it. He is our current personal champion with a prowess of 14, who is decidedly better than Himi with decidedly less. I think he has 6 at that point. So, we're going to get him married. It's probably a good idea to make sure that all of our more capable people have children. So, quickly searching through, seeing if there's any available wives for him. We'll settle on one real shortly. And it's weird, like, giving a voiceover to my own recordings. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. I'll be more on top of. There we go. We got him a wife. Hopefully this isn't too jarring, and if it is, I apologize. The next episodes will not be like this. Alright. Ah, here we go. The claimant demand has come. The right to rule Diani belongs to Tanan by divine right. We have gathered support required to make it do so. Accept this fact peacefully, or we will make you do so by force. Yeah, we'll see about that. Emirate of Mazaab. Time for a reckoning. So the war begins. The succession war. The dissidents have made their purpose known. I mean, I guess their purpose was already known, but they have decided to raise up arms against me. And, well, we're gonna have to deal with them. Now, right now, we don't have the biggest army. We also lost our chancellor because he rebelled against us. So we're gonna put this Emir Raouf guy, who doesn't like us very much, but we'll assign him as our chancellor right now. He still hates us. And he's, of course, an Ibadi, which, one of the reasons why he doesn't like us. Difference in religion and all that. Why can't we all just get along? So, he is the, currently the ringleader, the one who set up the regent. So we're gonna have to deal with them immediately. So right now, the core plan is to take out the territories immediately right by our capital to prevent them from levying anything up to take our capital, because that would be dangerous. Ah, somebody's scheming against my courtiers. I do not have time for this right now. Be gone. scheme away, as long as it doesn't involve me or kill anybody that's important. Right now, I couldn't care less. Alright, so the army, the enemy army is fleeing, probably to muster up with the rest of its forces, which is annoying for us. I would have liked to have taken it out early, but I'm not going to go on a wild goose chase. Pursue that army, because during that time, they'll be able to start besieging a bunch of my other settlements, and I would like to be able to take one of their enemy capitals early on. Alright. Character is pregnant again. Wonderful. More children. Yet another bloody succession. Alright, Amira Adilia is coming in to express her fealty. That's very good. I will take that. We're in line to inherit a lot of titles, of course, but not much we can do about that. But we can call fellow dynasty members into the war, except for Tininan. It says the second, but this is actually Tininan the third, my sister. But we can call Jibril in. Amazigh, who is the current Emir of the Maghreb, Risa of Jerid, and Walia Tadla of Bir Amir in just a moment. So we're going to bring in all of our house allies. Ah, there she goes. Oh, that was a different one. Sorry. She will not help us, though. She is my sister. And, yeah. That's just something we'll have to keep in mind. Who aided us in this war and who did not. Excellent. Everybody's coming to help. That's good. That should even out the numbers, because right now, if you take a look at the enemy forces, which we should pan over there in just a moment, they do have some numbers on us. But with the assistance of allies, I think we should succeed. Now, of course, I already know what's going to happen, but I'm going to pretend like I don't. Unfortunately, yeah, we cannot hire our Holy Order, of course, because the, we're not fighting against heathens. Alright, so, my cousin has given birth to a son and wants me to name it. Gonna scroll through until we find a name. Zubair is a good name. It's a good name. Alright. Unfortunately, our counselor died. It wouldn't be a, our marshal just bit the dust of old age. I could lead the army myself, but, Awinog Yayavid has the Unyielding Defender and Desert Commander traits, which are going to benefit us a lot more at the meager cost of having 2 less marshal than me. So, I am going to make him the general and also put him in command of the armed forces of my realm in general. So, he's now the new marshal to replace the other one who died of old age. It wouldn't be a, session of Ash Heriter Crusader Kings without council members abruptly dying. Oh, somebody's trying to seduce me. No, get out of here, all of you. I have no time for any of this. I'm fighting a war. What do you take me for? Right, so we are about to finish the siege of Akadir here. Or, it's not Akadir, the actual castle. It's got a different name, but the province is Akadir. And we have now taken it, and we are going to move across to Tugda to attempt to take that. Ah, taken to the extreme. It was only meant to be a short outing, a pleasant tour of the countryside. Now it has been days since we saw another living person, and our supplies have long since gone. We have already eaten the horses. Our guide promises that we will reach civilization within a week, but some of the servants are already at their limit, and my stomach growls for every hour that passes. Well, we could eat the servants, or we could starve a little. No. We don't want to be a cannibal. Not in this campaign. Maybe I'll do another campaign where we just go abominably evil at some point. That would be kind of fun, actually. Just go, like, a full deranged campaign. Alright, we have a daughter, who he wants to name Temzi after me, which I might be humble, but, you know, if somebody else wants to name it after me, that's fine, I'll accept it. That's their choice. I wouldn't name it after myself. Okay, so the servants, or the guardians of the ancestors want a new holding, the Boo of Ilig, which, the Boo of Ilig is right in our territory, so that's actually quite beneficial for us. So absolutely the request is granted. That also solves the rather precarious gold situation that we were just sitting on, because we were shunting money pretty fast and had only enough for a few more months of war left, and let me tell you, this war is going to take more than a few months. So, yeah, we're going to move up there, see if we can take out these raiders. Though ultimately that doesn't really matter. They're currently raiding territory that right now belongs to my enemy, though technically it belongs to me. Now, it is slightly dangerous, because the enemy force has amassed down there. So if they come up with their entire army against us, we might be in trouble. But it looks like their army is mostly split up still, so I'm going to finish taking Tugda, and we'll wait to see what the enemy does in Sigil Masa. We've taken a lot of prisoners. And so this prisoner is the current Wali of Akadir, and we are absolutely not going to sell him off because I want to revoke his titles once we win this war, because he is one of the conspirators. He will not be allowed to retain his title after this is done, along with basically all of the other conspirators we're going to have to get rid of. Rena here, she is, yeah, nobody of import. Most of these prisoners are, generally speaking, not of import. They have low prowess, so, do we sell them? I don't know. I think we sell them. Yeah, exactly. Or we at least sell the women. And we sell everybody else, too. They're not going to be of any threat to us, because they're not capable knights, so we're not going to have to worry about fighting them. We may as well get some extra money to fill out our treasury a little bit. So right now, also, we've been called into a war with the Emir of Maghreb, who is defending against an onslaught from the Canaries, the Canary Emirate, which is actually not an emirate run by canary birds, but is actually an emirate based on the Canary Islands, just in case you were wondering. Wealth of plenty, yes, we have tons of money. I could commission somebody to make me something, but right now I need the money for the war, because that's kind of expensive. No, unfortunately we're going to have to eat some stress and lose some prestige. Our prestige is pretty low right now. Alright, I've taken my daughter Temzi out playing with bow, and to my surprise she ran into a wounded doe. She later lashed out at me, thinking I'd staged the whole encounter as some kind of test. Well, our options are, yes, it was a test, in which case she becomes paranoid, which is not great, or someone always suffers, make certain it is not you. In which case, we would get stress, and she'll become sadistic. But let's look at the traits here. She's our heir, of course, which is not great with these two traits. But paranoia is not the best. Intrigue is, yeah, I mean, the intrigue and dread gain is okay. But everything else is pretty bad. Whereas sadistic, yeah, you get the general opinion -10, but otherwise the stats are much better. So we're going to let her be sadistic. You know, a little bit of sadism never killed no one. Right, guys? Guys? Alright, finishing off Tugda there, although the siege is only less than halfway done. And yeah, currently Maghreb is getting eaten alive. I would like to go and help them fight off their attackers, but there's not much I can do. And of course, when the Canaries invaded, again, not the birds, but the people from the Canary Isles. They've gotten help from Andalusia, which is a bit of a problem. Which is why there's so damn many of them. My sister was taken prisoner. Oh no. And then she was immediately released. Wait, what's that? What's that another sister? I have no idea. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, she still doesn't want to, oh, she's the current, heir of the, or she's the current ruler of the, no. What? This confused me while I was doing it as well. So, pardon my confusion now. It still doesn't make sense. But we have a new ally. Princess Tinhanan has indeed now joined the war. So that's something. I don't think it's the same Princess Tinhanan. I think the other one got deposed or something. I'm not sure. Too many Tinhanans. We can hold court, so let's do that. It's going to cost us prestige, but, you know, it's fine. Stifled commerce. A provincial merchant steps forward, clearing out his way in my rich halls. I beckon. Come, man, we don't have all day. Yes, my lady, he stammers. I am a czar, representing the disgruntled traders and freemen of Sabratha, Tripolitania's greatest bow. Raisa, our naiba, is a barrier to commerce and the town's interest. We humbly ask that she be replaced by somebody else. So, we have some options here. Raisa, she likes us a bit. You know, she's only a city, she's a republic ruler of a barony tier thing, so she's not very important in the grand scheme of things. So we could get rid of her, but then we'll get this civic meddling down here, which will decrease Republican tax for 10 years across the entire realm, which I'm not a fan of. And that also gives us civic meddling, which is also not great. This, however, does not give us civic meddling, and has an 88% chance of having Naiba pay 95 gold to us. She'll like us less, but again, that's fine. She's not that important. So we're going to take that, and we do indeed get the gold. So, our treasury is further padded out so that we can continue fighting this war without too much worry of going bankrupt. Alright, we got a, another issue here. Right, this is the daughter who has been, who has no home, so we've given her a home. And then, the woman approaches my throne is clearly a commoner. My lady, she begins her speech. I represent the local community of Taradont. In the last few months, our cemeteries have been plagued by the disappearance of bodies. Oh no, it's our physician, Taziri, digging up corpses again for experimentation. Didn't Tanan reprimand her twice to do this? I think this is it. This is it. Third time, 3 strikes, you're out, Taziri. I'm very sorry. We're gonna have to arrest you for being a grave robber. Tanan may have let it slide, but yeah. So she's no longer our antiquarian, nor is she our court physician. So we're going to need to get new ones for both of those. So let's quickly go check that out. Alright. And we get lost in the menus here. And I'm blind, which we already know. But we got Taziri here. Not going to negotiate her release at the moment. And there we go. I think... No, I still haven't figured it out yet. Sometimes I question my own eyesight. Finding things or remembering where they are. There we go. Have we got it now? Yeah, there we go. Well done, me. Well done. Alright, so we need to appoint a new court physician. Unfortunately, our options are fairly average, but I don't want to hire a new one because that's going to cost money. So we're going to appoint him. He'll get better as he goes. He's only 47 years old, so it'll last a little while. As far as the antiquarian goes, we're going to appoint the exact same guy. So once again, it's going to be an antiquarian / court physician dealio for them. Alright. We've won the next siege, and we have moved on to the next territory down the line. However, the enemies are moving against us, but there aren't many of them, and we have ally backing. So I'm pretty confident that we can win this. However, the second wave of them is coming. The idea here is that we win this first fight before the second wave shows up, and then we can basically clear out both of them. But right now, we're going to take a little break as we become avaricious, which will increase our holding taxes and our stewardship, which is pretty solid, all things considered. And we will continue down the stewardship line, of course, to get more money. And we have defeated the first army pretty handedly, sent their forces scattering to the wind, and now the second army has engaged us. They are drastically outnumbered because they were not able to reinforce their first army in time. All in all, it was pretty poorly planned on their part. And we have crushed both armies and functionally broken the back of the rebellion. Now, they're not going to just lay down and give up at this point, and I'm certainly not going to sue for white peace. I have dissident members of the court that need to be dealt with. We also have the issue of our court amenities have dropped very low, so our court level is down. Again, I'm not a fan of that being a thing in the game. I don't like how you have to literally reset it after every succession. That's quite annoying. A little bit of extra busy work that I feel is not necessary. Hopefully that gets patched out at some point, or there'll probably be a mod that fixes that. That I'll install. I'm not doing too many mods in this playthrough. Alright. Character is pregnant again. No longer saying I am pregnant, because that'll get confusing. Alright, what's going on here? There's this little army that I was worried might be threatening Taradont, but they are fleeing away. I've levied up a very small little force, but now I'm kind of realizing, wait a minute, that leaves them pretty isolated. So hopefully we can move this tiny little force of knights, or it's one knight and a couple of regular old dudes, to go reinforce with our main army as we move towards Adrar-Timi, our original capital, which has gone up in rebellion against us. But first, we are actually going to take out the enemy occupation of Daura, because they've seized this from us, and I'm not a fan of that, alright? Not a fan of that at all. And we're going to move our tiny little extra reinforcement army, because I cannot disband it. We're going to move there and hope that the enemy force does not intercept it. I'm ill, but feeling better already. Our new court physician shows his prowess as a court physician, even though he was kind of an underdog for the task. Alright, we're going to block this army just so that our 80-strong army doesn't get picked off by them. And they're walking straight into a trap and are going to die rather horrifically. We have captured another son of the, or the son of the Wali Kadir of Susa. Susa? Susa's in Iran. This must be another Susa. Isavid. Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming they're not referring to the Susa in southern Iran, former capital of the Parthian Empire. that would be strange as to why they're here. Though we have some strange people in our court, which we'll get to soon enough. We'll find him. Oh, we've already seen him. Oh, yeah. Now, once we've taken this, we are going to move into Tuat to take Adraximi back. Those forces up there are mostly warring against Maghreb, the Emirate of Maghreb, so I'm not terribly worried that they're going to spill into my territory. Again, I would like to help out the Emirate of Maghreb, but I can't right now. I'm dealing with my own rebellion. So I'm very sorry to my brother, who is the current Emir. So, you know, if it weakens him, maybe he'll be weakened to a point where he'll be forced to accept my rulership. That would be good. Alright, I've mothered many children. Once again, not me, my character. Just want to make that abundantly clear. Alright, yeah, let's cancel, or get all these notifications out of the way. We are, of course, being raided by the Songhai. What a surprise. They are going to pick on us while we're busy fighting elsewhere. Don't worry. We'll deal with them when the time comes. We can ransom him. No, we don't want to ransom him because he is one of the people that we need to revoke the title of, because he controls this territory, which I would like to have for myself. It's a coastal territory. It's in the duchy that I currently rule. Though, admittedly, I don't control all of the duchy. Ah, Rina, one of our prisoners, has died. Getting all the Rinas confused. There are a million of them. This one is not our friend Rina from before. Nor is it one of the other Rinas that's also occasionally pops up in the narrative of Crusader Kings. This is an enemy Rina, so her dying in the dungeons isn't that big of a deal. I've been overwhelmed by stress, mental break, dark thoughts. My options are whip myself, which, we did that in the, Manichaean campaign to fairly ill effect. I believe I lost 2 characters to self-flagellation. So let's not do that. The other option is become a drunkard, which is also not great. So, what are we gonna do? I think I'm gonna resist the impulses. We'll gain more stress, so it'll make it even more dangerous next time we have a mental break, but gotta do what I gotta do. Don't want to become a drunkard, and don't want to become a flatulent. Alright, we've almost retaken Adrartimi. Currently the war score is pretty heavily in our favor, considering we kind of smacked their armies about, and have taken all of their territory, so now that is a victory. We will enforce our demands. This is going to imprison all of the enemies that have faced us, and we are immediately going to move our army to try and help out our allies up here, though I fear it may be too late. But now there is the matter of all of our prisoners. So, there are several enemies, people that have turned on us. The Wilia of Jafara down here, she has rebelled against us, so her title is, of course, going to be revoked. Which, you know, that's just a terrible shame for you. And then, just to make sure that our stance here is clear on what we do with rebels, we're going to execute her as well. Now, there's Prince Amayas here, who is of our dynasty. He is my brother, even. What are we going to do with him? Obviously, we're going to revoke his title. Which, you know, that's a fair punishment. It's a very fair punishment, but there's several types of fair punishments we can do. He controls Adraximi and the Emirate of Tuat, but this I would like to have back, so we are going to take that back from him, which is, you know, it's a crying shame for you. And then, of course, if we execute him, we could move him to the dungeon, but if we execute him, we'll get Kinslayer, which is not great. But, yeah, it's really tempting. I'm honest, I'm humble, and I'm ambitious. Avaricious as well. You know what? I think we're gonna have to take his head. He may be a brother of ours, but he rebelled against me. This is what we do with rebels. Emir Sultan, my uncle here, he supported my father quite well, but he's going to have his titles revoked, and he will be executed as well, which will give me the trait Familial Kinslayer, along with regular kinslayer. And, you know, that's just a shame, but it is what it is. Emir Abakada. Same deal. Revoke titles. Yep, take everything. Right, and, of course, we execute him too. They're all traitors. They all need to go. We get Dynastic Kinslayer. It's fine. Just give me the whole thing. It's okay. People will be afraid of us. We won't execute the children. That's a step too far, so we'll ransom them or figure out something to do with them. The rest of this guy, Atham the Headless. He's a Sunni Armenian. Not sure what he's doing in our court. He is a servant of Wali Farouk here, who we're going to give the same treatment to. We're, of course, going to strip him of his Waliya, and then we are going to strip him of his flesh as we burn him at the stake. Now, who's next? You are being executed. Taziri here, this is our former physician. We're not going to execute her. She served us quite well. And what I'm just going to do is banish her from the realm. This is what you get for being a grave robber. You served us well, so that's sparing your life. Atham the Headless. Let's have him keep that moniker then. We didn't behead him, unfortunately. We only burnt him at the stake. But let's get rid of these children. We'll have her renounce claims. That's always a wise thing. Any of you guys can renounce claims? No, so we'll just get a weak hook. That's fine. And yeah, just get out of here. We won't commit any atrocities against the children. Just against the traitors. They must be punished. So that was a moment of satisfying justice. It always, you know, gets my blood pumping, you know. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside whenever we get the chance to mass execute traitors to the realm. Just truly a delightful thing. So, we have the Emirate of Mazaab here. We have way too many territories, and we also have too many held duchies. So we're going to have to sort out what we want to give away. So there's this guy. We could give Mazaab here to him, but he's just and temperate, which is good, but he's also a sadist. So I'd rather give this territory to somebody that will help us more. However, now I'm noticing that the usual grant title button that's down there is not there. So this is, once again, Crusader Kings being a little bit inconsistent with what it's doing. Like, I don't know why we can't grant the title so easily. And you'll see in a second, we can give the title away. It's just we can't do it with that button, because that button isn't there, so... Question mark? Why? So we're gonna have to figure out who we're going to give that to, and I'm leaning right now towards my brother, Prince Badis. He is unlanded. He likes us quite a bit. If we give him an emirate, he's gonna like us a hell of a lot more. He has the Brave, Temperate, and what's the other one there? I think Calm. All those are pretty good traits. So he, I think, will be a pretty beneficial ruler to be in that territory. So we will indeed give him the Emirate of Mazaab, once I find it, that is. Roll up. You'll get there eventually. There you go. Give him the whole damn thing. See? He is now a staunch supporter of us. And we have reduced the amount of territories that we are over. There's still just one that we need to get rid of, and I believe that is the one that's right down here. So it's the Waliya of Tiraka, which is currently under his control. He doesn't like us too much, but that's not a big deal. So we could give him Arawan, because Arawan is under our control. Is it actually? I don't remember. I don't know what exactly I'm doing here. I'm sure it'll all make sense in due time. Once again, I'm very sorry that the recording got messed up, and that some of the little minor actions that I'm taking are lost. However, we control the Emirate of Tripolitania. That is 3 territories that are actually quite lucrative. So at the moment, I don't want to give them away. I'd rather keep them. But it is going to work in our detriment because we will have too many held duchies. So I do need to either give away Tripolitania or Adrar to me. I'm going to look right now. So we can transfer the Wali Affair of Thessalit, which is down at the bottom. At the green thing, yes. And he basically can be transferred to Amira Ajan of Tadmeka, because that is technically her vassal, or it should be her vassal, so we will do that. So that'll make her like us more. We can negotiate some alliances with Ilias, one of our brothers, and Badis, one of our brothers as well. who now have titles. So, that's been settled. We have another internal ally. Badis was the one that we gave the Emirate of Mazaab to, so naturally he's going to like us and want an ally, want an alliance with us. So, that's all good. Now, what are we doing? We're looking at Sigil Masa. Eventually I want to control Sigil Masa because there are a lot of events in the renown tree centered around the North Africans that affect Sigil Masa specifically. So I would like to reclaim that at some point. But probably not in this lifetime. We'll do that with another character. We need a new Spymaster. And right now I'm looking at who I'm going to give... there's another territory. I don't know which one I'm currently focused on. I think it's... I'm figuring out who I'm going to give Adrar-Timi to. And the Emirate of Tuat. So I want to make sure... So first off, we've appointed her as a Spymaster, who I'm immediately going to start swaying. That's Amira Adilia. The Mindbreaker is her moniker, because she is a seductress. You know, might be good to have as our Spymaster. But looking at who we can give to Adrar-Timi, I kind of want it to be somebody, or who we can give Adrar-Timi to, I kind of want it to be somebody that is, you know, martially minded, that we can put into the position of Marshal, because our current Marshal, well, he served his purpose in the war. There are better options out there, and I want to ensure that we have the best Marshal possible, preferably one that's also quite loyal to us. I mean, he is loyal to us, but the key point here is that we have people with potentially better skills that could be suited for rulership. They just need to not have titles of their own beforehand. Oh no, we're trying to give away Z's at this point. Sorry, not Adrar-Timi. Because we don't control anything here, and I don't really have any aim of controlling any of the territories right up here. So, we'll find somebody in just a second, I'm sure. Let's see, who's it gonna be? I honestly don't remember who we gave it to. Fela, yeah, it's this guy. He is not of our house, but he's pretty capable. He's a good marshal, or he would be a good marshal. He's got traits that aren't, you know, won't promote hostility further down the line. He's got 2 leadership traits. We're going to give him the Emirate of Tafilat and the Wilia of Aziz, which is going to solve most of our problems. So, we're still over our duchy count, but that is an issue I'm willing to deal with for now. We'll sort that out later in this episode, I think. So, we are going to promote him as our marshal. I still don't know how to get that the scimitar in on the custom barbershop thing that I have, because all you get options are for straight swords. It would be very cool if you could actually like equip your character with a scimitar in there. Or better yet, since we're Berbers, give us like a flisa or something, or a takuba, the Tuareg sword. Be very cool. Yeah, all right. We have banished. Finally, that was all done while we were paused. But we have banished our old position, the Grave Robber, and we have released everybody else. We've formed our alliances. All these things now come into place. We are sitting on a lot of money, and we are actually still earning money now that the realm has been stabilized, which is pretty good. So we're gonna quickly look and see what kind of stuff we can build here. We have 61 dread, which is, you know, is solid. It's quite solid. We got that from executing all those people. I think everybody now knows that don't mess with Amira Temzi here. She does not take kindly to treasonous activities. So, hopefully that's going to keep everybody in line and not cause further problems down the line. Alright, the other Temzi has come of age. She has become an insightful thinker, which is not great. So I did have her, because she had the curious childhood trait, I had her study learning. And it still didn't really give her much of a trait. So I don't know all of the things that are involved in there, but I know that the learning attribute of the person who's educating the child is important, and also whether or not the child is being educated by somebody with the same trait. So I'm assuming that my poor learning and the fact that I'm a stewardship-focused character are the reason why she didn't get a better education trait. And that's just something I kind of have to deal with. Because we're not getting those better education traits. It's really hard to kind of climb that mountain to make sure that you can get them very easily. And once you start to get them very easily, and there's enough members of your family that have them, it's pretty easy to maintain it. It's the same thing with like the congenital traits, right? It's hard to effectively breed those things into your dynasty, but once they're there, it's pretty easy to maintain. So that's why our rulers thus far, aside from, I think, our first one, and actually Tanan had pretty okay traits as well. But alright, we have a feline hunter. I think I found the reason why some days are more rat-free than others. My vassal, Naiba Raisa, happily declares as she moves aside to reveal a servant holding a very displeased cat. It wriggles in an attempt to free itself from the scratched-up arms of the servant, meowling in a rather endearing fashion. I'd say this one is a successful rat hunter. In fact, it was in the middle of a wrestling match with a fat one when we found it. What say you? Shall we adopt this cat? Hell yes, of course. We got a pet cat. That sounds great. I, myself, am deathly allergic to cats, but I do like them very much. So we have to find a name for it. Paws, mittens, and gray are, of course, you know, nice. And it is a cat with gray fur, which is... I do like those quite a bit. But we're going to find an even cooler name, I think. And I think I spent a little bit deliberating this, trying to search for some sort of mythological cat god. You'll see which one I end up settling on, which in hindsight there were probably better options, but one that we end up settling on is associated with the Amazigh religion, which does have some influence from Egyptian mythology. So we will be picking the name Sekhmet, which is the lion-headed goddess of war to the ancient Egyptians. So, that's now our cat. A very humble name for a little gray kitty. Alright, now finally we are going to move in and try and take back Tin Milal from the giant flock of Canaries that has invaded this territory. Comfort of a friend. Alright, Amira Ajan likes us quite a bit. I mean, we've helped her out. We gave her a vassal back. She's a torturer. It's always good to have a torturer friend, right? Right, guys? So yeah. Exercise and meditation. When the raised voices reach me yet again, I quench my instinct to turn my heel. The constant bickering of Walia Adiba and Amira Ajan is enough to drive any woman mad. Something must be done. Well, I am friends with Ajan here, so... I mean... The wise thing would be to pick that, because this gives stress, and I have a stress problem right now. But I'm going to pick the one that sides with my friend here, which does cause me to gain some stress because it's a dishonest side. Alright, Sway, religious convictions. I've gotten my interest to... I've gotten an idea in my attempts to align Amira Adilia to my interests. Amira Adilia is, of course, my spymaster, the mindbreaker, the seductress, who has left many a broken man in her wake. But we have now swayed her quite well, so probably don't need to worry too much about her. And let's move to Marrakesh itself. I don't think we can come back from this war, especially now that this happens. The enemy is moving against us. I immediately am like, oh shit, this was a mistake to overextend ourselves, but it's too late. Our army is caught out. Thankfully, the stakes here are pretty low, because it's just my allies. So now, because we already have Avaricious, we are going to go down and get Taxwoman. This is going to increase the effectiveness of our collect taxes when we finally do that. And now it's the question of, do I continue in stewardship or do I go into something else? I continue with stewardship for now, to get more money to further build up the realm. I feel like that's going to be very important. And as it stands now, it looks like we are quite close to losing this war, or our allies are quite close to losing this war. Which would be a shame, but not much I can do about it. My army did suffer severe damage. My allies' army just got pretty badly wrecked there as well, so... But I have a plan. I have a plan that we can at least make things a little bit tricky for them. And that is, we're going to launch a surprise attack on the Canaries. And unfortunately, our new marshal has died in battle. Which is, did he die in battle, or what happened? Something happened to him. He's no longer our marshal in any case. What was his name? Fella. So, we're gonna have to figure out who to bring in as a new marshal. So he's uncle, my uncle Emir Tahir of Tafilalt. He is, unfortunately, of the old faith. And I'm going to give him a suit of armor because it's supposedly going to give him an extra 30 relations with me, but you'll see here in just a second. that it does not do that. So we give him the Soninke scale armor. So it's going to give plus 20 relations, and then it doesn't. It gives 5. I'm not sure why. I've had this happen a couple of times with the giving artifacts now, that it says it's going to give X, and then it gives way less. And that's not because I've given him gifts already. So, a little bit of non-transparency there on Crusader Kings' side. I wish the game was a little bit more clear with showing what you get from doing these things, because that was a huge waste of an item that I could have used for something else. So we are going to do some upgrades here. I want to actually change out some of the buildings. We've got the pastures that I could exchange for a trade port, but I think I'd rather exchange the wooden barracks for a trade port, because levies, you know, levies are okay and all, but they cost a lot of money, they're not the best. I'd rather have a strong core of men-at-arms eventually. But we have this castle here that we can also build things in, and we are obviously going to construct a cavalry, because more knights. And why would you not want that? We currently have 9 knights. Our knight situation is okay. It's not bad. I will, probably not in this episode, go through and get marriages so that we can get more knights into our court. Okay, we are at the tier 2 stress, so I will become a confider. I have done nothing secret. We did not become a cannibal. Everybody that I killed, I executed publicly, so I will become a confider and talk to Adijan, my friend, again. And that'll reduce some of our stress. Alright, so this girl here is demanding an artifact from me. She's demanding my terracotta toy fowl. It's just like, why are you doing this? You're making demands of me? You're 28 years old. You're making demands from your queen for a toy. What are you thinking? Alright, fine. Have it, I guess. Like, this is not worth having a disagreement about. Oh, man. Sometimes this game, man. We're losing the war, but basically what I want to do is take some prisoners from the Canaries and sell them to get more money. So at least we'll be able to get something out of the war. So we have indeed taken some prisoners, who we can then ransom for 25 gold. And, you know, hey, something, right? Well, we've got a couple of prisoners here. All children, so nothing that we're going to do anything to. And we can ransom them all for 25 gold, or at least those two. Can't remember Uwais here, if we can ransom him for that much. And we have lost the war. Unfortunately, that prevents us from ransoming the last child. So, war is over. We will disband our armies. They will gradually sail their way home. And the realm is quiet once more. Emir Tanan is coming in to... this is the son of the other Emir Tanan who betrayed Emir Tanan, my character, so you'd be forgiven if you're confused at all the fucking Emir Tanans around. Now, finally, since the war is stable, I'm going to put my court back into order so that we can increase our court grandeur again. The prestige associated from that, because it is quite low for now, so we'll basically get everything up to the middling point, which will allow our court grandeur to kind of balance up around 5.5, which is good. Backmatch sensitivity. Oh no, my husband is allergic to cats. Yeah. I understand being allergic to cats myself, but we could give her away, but really, no. Not happening. The cat's more important. Alright. Badis has left prison. Our brother, he was imprisoned by somebody. I'm not sure why, but it's good that he's gotten out. He's loyal to me, after all. So we could construct something new there, but not yet. We can create some titles. We could create the Duchy of Timbuktu, which is pretty good. So currently Timbuktu is controlled from Tiraka, but we will create this right now. Be a significant amount of money, but it's going to bump our prestige up to over 1,000 finally. We were pretty low on prestige for a while. And we're going to have to figure out who to give it to. We could give it to him. He does not like us. However, he probably would like us if we gave him that. Or we can give it to her. However, the Mindbreaker here, she is already in control of another duchy. So I don't want to give her too many. So I am going to give it to this guy, Prince Ilyas here. He's suited for it. He's not a bad ruler. And I think if we give him the Emirate of Timbuktu, he's going to fall in line just fine. And look at that. He went from -30 to 65. So, we've turned a potential enemy into a loyal supporter with that move there. And we can immediately modify his feudal contract, and I want to modify his feudal taxes because Timbuktu is eventually, once he builds that up, is going to earn him a lot of money. So I'm going to sanction him declaring wars, because if he wants to expand south into Songhai, well, I wouldn't be opposed to that. What are we going to do with him? So he's currently lost a lot of territory. Unfortunately, he's still a Grand Emir. He still controls the Grand Emirate of Maghreb. And because of that, he still has a kingdom tier title, which means we cannot demand his vassalage. If he were to sink and become just a regular Emir, then we potentially could, and I have a feeling he would probably join us. Though he doesn't like us right now, there are ways that we could make him like us and come into the fold. We're going to upgrade our men-at-arms a little bit, get more camels. You know, always good to have a ton of camels. You know, the more camels, the better. Now, we still have, oh yeah, some of our artifacts of low durability, including the Diani crown, which this is definitely something we want to repair. So we're going to let time progress a little bit. That way we'll get enough money. We'll repair that. That's not one we want to break. And then the dagger as well needs to be repaired. And that's also one that would be good to repair. So let's quickly wait till we get enough money to do that. Thankfully, we're earning 19.7 per month, which is pretty solid, actually, considering the scale and development of our empire, which is, you know, it's good, but it's not ridiculous. And is this where it comes up? Because we still control too many duchies. And we're going to have to give one up eventually. So our options are Tripolitania and Tuat. And yeah, right now we were just checking to see if we could upgrade our crown authority, but we do not have the cultural advancement required to do so just yet. I can pet Sekhmet. We'll restore some stress for petting the cat, which is always great. And alright, we're gonna, yeah, minting new coins here. That's always good. You can mint them with your own visage, but as a humble person, that's going to cause me stress, and we can debase it, but as an honest person, that's also going to cause me stress. So we're just going to do, I think, the regular, yeah, mint silver coins to facilitate trade. Increase the development growth by 5%, which is fine. And we can talk to a confidant here, which will cause all of our courtiers to lose 10 opinion of us, except for Amira Ajan, who's our friend. So that's a pretty massive opinion hit, but it'll go away over time, and right now I need to reduce my stress, because we're close to reaching the second breaking point again, which I would rather not have. Could go on a pilgrimage, but right now that's not too important, because we don't really need the piety for much. Like, yeah, we can use it for holy wars, but it's not really what we're doing at the moment. Alright, so we're contemplating what we're going to do about Tripolitania. I could get rid of it. It is lucrative, but I will lose it after succession, of course. Which is just a shame. But is there anybody that we can give it to that would be a good recipient for Tripolitania? Because, again, we need to reduce... we need to lose one duchy. Here's where we encounter an interesting person. He is a Siberian who has come down to the Maghreb as Dana Kurjun. What are you doing here, mate? You're a long way from home. But hey, it's cool. It's cool. Do we give it to somebody? I honestly don't remember what we do if we give up Tripolitania just yet. I think I give up Adratimi, but I'm not sure. Could be wrong. Let's see here. Walia Adiba of Tamentit. She is quite capable, and I could grant her the Emirate of Tuat and the Walia of Tuat. And that there, so we will lose Adratimi, but that's going to bring her into the fold. She will like us quite a bit then. So, more loyal vassals, and our duchy situation has been solved. There's still the glaring issue of, yeah, this little nation here that is independent from mine, that should not be independent from mine. And, of course, Africa, the African Grand Emirate, is also still independent, which, we'll need to deal with. Alright, once again, we are going to have more children, which is just going to create more of a mess. After another stressful day, I slump down on my chair in my chamber. For how long will I be able to keep this up? Suddenly I hear a quiet meow, and my cat, Sekhmet, jumps up on my lap and starts purring. I sit with her for a while, just listening to the calming sound and petting her gray fur. Yes, it's good. The glorious cat. Right, we're going to arrange marriages, or potentially arrange a marriage. So this is my heir right now, but I don't think I'm going to keep her as my heir. She's not really fit for anything. So we're going to try and find her a husband. I'm looking through, kind of thinking, you know, what do we want? But we could definitely use more knights. So I'm going to sort by prowess once again. Try and find somebody roughly her age. There's Dunamosi here. He's got a prowess of 20. He's roughly her age. Is it the best marriage for her? No, but again, I'm going to disinherit her soon enough. She will not be my heir. So, we have another knight who's joined us on our round table. Designate a guardian for Temzi here. She is going into intrigue right now, which I don't want. I'd rather have her go martial. And I'm going to try and find her... She's rowdy anyway, so martial is good for that. And I'm going to try and find her somebody with a good martial education trait to educate her. But as it turns out, our court doesn't have any. We have people with good martial skill, but none of them that actually have the good education trait. Which kind of makes me think it's not going to work out too well for her. So I'm going to educate her myself. At least I'll be able to control her traits that way. Or some of them. Then we got Princess Tria here, who's studying diplomacy, and she is curious, so I would actually like to switch her to learning. And she is being educated by myself. I check that right here, right now. We see that that's happening. And we're just going to leave that for now. That's just how it is. Now, unfortunately, we can see there that we can create the Kingdom of Taharat, and that means that, we'll see it in just a second. We are... right now, repairing some artifacts. Once again, artifacts that have broken. And, yeah, we're going to look through and actually sort out our artifacts here. And I'm going to skip this little segment because it was a bit confusing. Alright, so we have a new son, Amir Al-Umara Murad. He wants to name it after himself. That's fine. We'll allow him to name it after himself. He did want one of our children to be named after me, so fine if we return the favor. Now we can construct watchtowers here, which will be good. I want to have watchtowers in basically all of our core territories around, just to make this region particularly difficult to attack. And this region does have the advantage and disadvantage of being a port region or a coastal region, which means, you know, we can get good money out of trading and that type of stuff, but we are prey to potential nautical onslaughts, which is dangerous business. Alright, continuing on, let's see what happens here. We have discovered Chronicle Writing. Alright, so that is a new cultural innovation. This will allow us to do a de jure duchy casus belli, which is quite good. So that will allow us to take duchies that technically belong to our kingdom. We're still going for hereditary rules so that we can get partition, which I'm hoping right now it'll unlock in 23 years. And I am currently... we'll see in just a second. But what I'm hoping for is, because when succession happens, we will lose another kingdom that breaks off because of these stupid Confederate partition laws. Because it'll actually create the Kingdom of Taharat, which will then become independent because it's of equal title to mine. And I don't think I'm going to be able to refound an empire, or found an empire during my lifetime. So what I'm hoping for is that I live long enough for hereditary law to kick in, then we can do partition, which will prevent Taharat from being created as a title. It will still lose a lot of our internal titles, but they will at least remain part of the greater realm, rather than becoming independent. So yeah. That is at least something. We're going to create another cavalry here that will allow us to get more knights. One can never have too many knights. Sekhmet, the troublemaker. My friend Amira Ajan approaches me, rage in her eyes and cat in her hand, held by the scruff of its neck. As she thrusts the cat in my face, I see it's my dear Sekhmet. I found this little monster among my thing. What wasn't scratched to bits was covered in piss. Alright, so we can compensate her for a shit ton of money. Or I can tell her, you know, deal with it. The cat will go where the cat wants to go, alright? It is the master here, not me. So unfortunately that does make our friend like us a little bit less, but, you know, all for the sake of the cat. I'm sure you can understand. The cat is what's really important here. Alright, we're gonna try and repair this battle axe. Solace in script. The latest work of my acquaintance, Mufti Ziri, has become all the rage at the court of late. He wrote me a poem, basically, that's addressed to me. When such beautiful countenances hid from sight, we scream and we wail, no matter our might. Alone, bereft, without that sweet woman, we wander, wondering where hurt began. It's, you know, it came from the heart. We won't say anything else. Oh, man. Some of the poems that come out are, like, that they come up with are obviously intentionally bad. Some of them are okay. But yeah, let's repair this axe before we figure out what to do with it. So somebody's demanding an artifact from me. He wants my shiny Gazula lameller. You, sir. No. He's from an enemy emirate anyways, the Zamurids to the south, so he's absolutely not getting any of that. A nose for profit. Well, out on a leisurely stroll. It's the merchant event. I don't have the money to spare right now, mate. I'm very sorry, so let's move on. And you're gonna see here, we got education under duress. Oh no. I see my court tutor, Admir, with a flock of his students encircling him. Tutor, what's a parallelogram? Tutor, what does it mean to make love? Tutor, should I be blowing my trumpet louder or much louder? Admir looks up at me with sunken eyes. My lady, please, kill me. This offense again. It's always funny. Alright, we're gonna let him go. I understand. He doesn't want to be tutor anymore. He's had enough of it. He has a melancholy. The kids drove him insane. The kids drove him to depression. Alright, yeah, I'm right now deliberating, because it reduces opinion, but it also gains opinion. I don't know, I find it's a bit weird that it reduces opinion when he actually asks for you to do that. So we're gonna have to find a new court tutor. But unfortunately, he's the only option. That's good. So what I'm gonna do is actually find one of my courtiers that is unmarried, who can marry somebody with good learning. And from there, we should be able to get somebody that can become a better court tutor, or at least a more motivated court tutor. Because the guy was good at his job. He was just like, he'd had enough of all the screaming kids all day. I mean, that's fair. I would have probably set myself on fire too if I had to deal with that all day. So who's it gonna be? Who's the lucky one that's getting married? Admir here. Yeah, we'll let him be married. We're gonna marry him off to a woman that's going to take his job. Yeah. Alright, delightful. And then, oh no, we didn't we married him off to, the court shaman instead. Maybe he needs the help of the shaman to sort his life out. So we've married one of our knights to, a woman that will be our new court tutor. So we will appoint her now. Guraya, indeed, she is well suited for the job. So, she now has it. Quickly looking through, I would like to get a high almoner at some point, but we don't really need the piety at the moment. So I'm gonna not get it, because that's just gonna cost needless money. We'll get one eventually, when piety becomes more important. Amir Al-Umara Amazigh. Yeah, so the Amazigh Grand Emirate. Interesting. Why did it change name? What did he do? It's still a Grand Emirate, so I don't know why. Alright, we're gonna hold court, and, yeah, this time it's gonna actually not work in our favor. My lady, I represent the Butar people from the Waliya of Jafara, states my Fari Asrur. We are devoted and faithful subjects, but our land is poor, underdeveloped, and scarcely populated. Please allow us to recolonize it and to administrate it according to our traditions. So this is the get a free holding. thing. Obviously, it's under control of somebody else, but it is just like a free holding. A new holding is built in your territory for free, and it's awesome. If you decide to pick the right option, which, of course, we're going to, because it's pretty great. We can't negotiate the feudal contract at all, but like it's still pretty good. It'll have less control, but like, overall, a free barony, that's worth 500 gold, or however much it costs to be a get a barony. And we have the survey event again with Emir Tanan here, and again Tanan, son of Tanan the traitor. But he's a capable steward. Unfortunately, this costs a shit ton of money, but otherwise we would be extorting all of our vassals, which is not great, or we can get a shit ton of stress. So all in all, this event is not great for us right now. It's a good event, because the bonus that you get from it will outweigh the costs, because we had that already with Mikhail back in the day, with our... Yeah, so now we have a cadastre here. My lady, my courtier, Eleonorka, speaks up. I propose a cadastral survey of all counties you own. Improved knowledge and mapping of your land will certainly increase its prosperity. So this will also cost me 285 gold, or we lose opinion. But the survey, I don't know what it does, and I actually want to find out what this event does, because I haven't seen it before. So I'm going to do it. We're now massively in debt, but I can borrow gold from the Holy Order, so that's something at least, which we will try and give back as soon as possible. So that's going to put our debt only down to 140, which we should be able to get back pretty quickly. We could sell trivial titles to get a lot of money, but I don't know if I want to do that. We can extort subjects as well. Again, not something I really want to do. So right now we're just going to have to live with being significantly in debt, and hope that no one declares war on us. If someone declares war on us right now, ugh, that'll be bad. Right. Yep, somebody has learned Arabic. That's good. Arabic is currently our court language. Unfortunately, I still want to change it, but I don't know how to change it. I guess that's, you have to do that, because, like, I would expect the little squiggly double line thing to be around Arabic language, but it's not. So, do you have to diverge the culture rather than reform it? That must be it. But we can't do that yet, so we're just gonna have to see. The secret exposed. Oh no, I don't care at all. Emir Tanan has added an extramarital affair with Amira Adila. None of this matters. Alright. Cadastre has been completed. Excellent. So, my courtier Eleonorka bows briefly before me and explains with a satisfied smile. My lady, you might remember that some months ago you invested a large sum of gold into a cadastre of your counties. I have personally supervised the matter and can proudly say that the job is done. So, we get 50 development progress in every held county, which is pretty sweet. And some prestige. So, all in all, that is a good event. When you have the money to pay for it. It's costly, but damn. Our debt is gradually decreasing. Unfortunately, the Mindbreaker has perished, so we will need a new Spymaster. And also, we need to promote our culture here. Because that is not Moroccan, and that's causing a bit of friction with the locals. So, once the locals become Moroccan, it should all be fine. Now, we can also increase... good. He has come to pay homage to me. Our court grandeur has increased. Wonderful, all of these things are good. We've put Prince Ilyas as our new Spymaster. Not as capable as the Mindbreaker, but, you know, hopefully he'll leave less grieving men in his wake. And, yeah, this is where I'm going to end the episode, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Apologies once again for the after-the-fact recording of the vocals, but this is just how it is. Leave it a like if you have enjoyed it. The next episode will be back to the original format.